Oh yes, the music, the music. Hello, everyone who just joined. Please tell your friends we are going live. We'll begin when we have a sizable number, about 40 people, and we begin. Please tag your people, share the link with as many people as you can so that we can get started. This is the last session of our virtual summit. Let's make it a big one. Let's make it a good one. Yes, so let's get our numbers going up. Thank you. think we should just get started. Those who join us will join us later. They will have to join us later. All right. Thank you, everyone who is live with us today at this hour. Thank you very much for joining. This is our third day of our Sadc Climate and Wash Virtual Summit. We've had a very good 2 sessions before this one. Before this, we were learning more about disaster risk reduction. We were learning about eco-anxiety. We even touched a little bit about how to tell our story as Africans, telling our own climate stories for ourselves. And today it's all about the business aspect of it. How do we turn our passion into business? How do we turn our passion into green enterprise? Because climate change shouldn't just be about screaming and shouting about changing policy, but it should be something that can also create opportunities for us as well as we are mitigating and adapting to the climate issues. So today we have 2 sessions that will take us along the issues of green entrepreneurship. Our first session will be conducted by our partner from Crust Eco Network. Our speaker particularly, in fact, I'll let him introduce himself. I might devalue him, by speaking for him, but let him speak for himself. Let him introduce himself. Let him talk to you guys more about who he is, where he's from, and what he is about. So I am going to allow you, Mr. Ferdinand, to introduce yourself. Tell us about who you are, and what do you have in store for us today. So please, sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you so very much. Good evening, everyone who has joined this summit of day 3. My name is Ferdinand Chinyimana, and I'm an ambassador of Crest Eco Network for sustainable environment based in Nigeria, but it's an international organization where it works in all Africa countries. So I'm ambassador from Rwanda, where we implement climate-friendly projects to make sure that our communities are living in good condition, which sustain climate actions. So thank you for having me today, and I'm going to take you through a green economy, so that you have been learning through eco-anxiety from eco-anxiety to actions, where you have been learning how you cannot see things like they are, you cannot see communities as struggling, but you have to take your first part as young people to bring actions which sustain our environment. On day 2, you have also been taken through food security, where the session was saying how many Africans are relying on imported food, but that session was with the intention of building self-reliance within Africans. So thanks to the presenter of that session for day 2, you have also been taken through climate advocacy, where you have seen how we as Africans have to be on the front line to speak to ourselves and to bring actions which sustain our environment. So today I'm coming with a new and how we are going to implement businesses which sustain our environment and which make our Africa green and which make our future better than it is today. So I'm going to take you through sustainable solutions for a greener future. How are we going to implement businesses, projects which will sustain our environment? We are gaining earnings, and also we are sustaining our environment. So, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't not to rely on planting trees, doing a project which don't bring returns to us, but also we need to focus on those projects which also bring returns to our pockets, so that We will develop our community, we develop our sustainable future, but also ourselves as young people are becoming independent people instead of depending to either America or other countries which we think they are developed than us, but we have to find the solutions by ourselves. So the next slide, please. I'm going to take you through business projects, eco-friendly projects which we can implement. We have to implement in order to bring back returns and also sustaining our greener future. Firstly, why are we going to consider sustainability? Why sustainability matters? Sustainability is imperative because humans are facing immediate threats from rapid climate change. You see, many communities are facing droughts. Many countries are facing floods where people die, where people face struggles, where people cultivate crops but they don't harvest. You may ask yourselves, why? Why can we keep looking or overlooking this? Why can't we take our steps to be on the front line to overcome this? That's why we come together today to learn about economy, but sustaining our future. Another reason for learning about sustainability is that we are shifting away from linear consumption, but we are moving to circular economy. We don't need to consume today without considering about tomorrow. It can be like we have to consider like ants. You know the ants. Ants eat today, but considering how will it be when the situation, when the climate will change. It eats today, but saving for the future. So that's how we should be, so that we are sure that tomorrow is going to be ours, and we are going to inherit better climate too, and better environment to our next generation. We are also committed to the action. We empowering Africans youth, entrepreneurs, local communities to build decentralized backup infrastructure. Today we are going to learn how we are going to build our greener climate and the greener buildings infrastructures, which also sustain our climate, which also make our climate sustainable without considering on our own benefits only, but considering on our good earth. Next slide, please. So today I'm going to take you through FEST, which is very, very amazing project or business that you can take and gain money, also sustaining your environment. First project is called Black Soldier Fly. Black Soldier Fly is a fly which doesn't spread disease. That's the first reason for choosing it. It's a fly which reproduces in a very short time, in only 18 days or between 18 and 24, you get your harvest. So Black Soldier Fly system is a business idea or business economy that you are going to learn how to implement, how to gain money, but also sustaining your environment. Black soldier fly larvae convert organic waste into protein-rich feed and organic fertilizer. You are wondering why. Everyone is wondering how. How is it? How is the soldier, mini black soldier flies are converted into protein-rich feed to the animals or reared animals? So black soldier flies, firstly, they are flies which are corrected because they are attracted from those rotten organic organic materials like collected from markets, peels from Irish potatoes, from bananas, which are collected and put together. And then those black soldier flies, they are attracted to those, and then you correct those flies. So you keep somewhere where they are going to lay eggs. Then those eggs are going to be collected and put in other organic materials. For some days, you get larvae, or those larvae, which are very protein rich feed for either pig farming and also poultry farming. So you may be wondering, uh, how can I do poultry while food for the hens or chicken is very expensive? This is very modern way and also eco-friendly way which we are going to start using, so that we can implement business using a very cheap way and sustaining our environment. So production process flow, we collect waste. We collect waste from the market, as I've told you, from home uses, home materials. Either in your homes, you peel Irish potato, you peel bananas, you peel mattocks, and then those peels you are collected somewhere, and then those peels are going to be used. So you collect them and you put them together, and then black soldier flies are put in those period or those organic waste. After 15 days, those black soldier flies we release eggs, we lay eggs. Those eggs are going to be put in those organic materials, and after some days they grow and become larvae, which are going to be harvested. As you see in this picture, is showing the larva stage of growth of those black soldier flies. This is very harvest, which is protein rich. The chicken and also pig, to grow well, they need a food which is rich in the protein. So it's not necessary to think other expensive food, but to consider this, which is very expensive, which is very cheap, and which can be done by yourselves, earning money and also sustaining our environment. So raw material sourcing, the system utilizes diverse local organic waste stream, including household food scraps, as I've been saying, vegetable market waste, and also fast food outlets residues. So those are the organic materials or organic waste which are collected, because when they are displayed or when they are spread in the environment without being corrected, it becomes a problem to our environment. But when you correct them and you put together, you utilize them doing this business, you are becoming friendly to our environment. So you are contributing to the sustainable environment. Nursery and production stages. Master and breeding colonies are multiplied in a controlled greenhouse environment. So as I've been telling you, firstly you take fries. After taking the fries, you put on I can say small cut timber above those wastes where the fries lay eggs. Those eggs are removed from those timbers, and then they are put in organic waste. After some days, you see the harvest. So in short, that's how you can produce a very amazing protein-rich food to your reared animals without relying on expensive food from the market. But also, what we are considering as a paramount is to contribute to our sustainable environment and a greener future. Next slide, please. Yeah, here you see the picture here is showing how green black soldier fries are rocking river stage. Environmental benefits you are going to see, we are going to see impact. How do they impact our environment? Environmental benefits. This business reduces waste sent to landfills, lowers methane greenhouse gas emission. You know, when those wastes which are reduced from households, from markets, when they are not taken carefully, and the rain comes, uh, they are taken to the swamps without being degraded, and they become rotten in the swamp without being controlled, and they cause emission of greenhouse gases like methane gas. It is raised in the atmosphere, and it causes the degradation of ozone layer. The ozone layer degradation, which is caused by effect of this methane gas. So we have to be careful about spreading those organic waste. Economic benefits. This business of using black soldier fry system provide low cost, protein-rich animal feeds to replace expensive fish meal. When you go to the market to buy food which are being sent to the market, you may find them expensive. But when you consider to this business, you get very protein-rich food to your animals, but which are on very low cost. On agricultural benefits, they create high-quality organic fertilizer. Those river stage are removed from those organic material, but they consume those organic and they degrade them, so they become fertilizer, which is very good to our crops. So it improves soil health and the microbial activity. So they degrade organic material and they make very good fertilizer, which you can also sell to the market, and you get very good income. So income generation, farmers and the entrepreneurs earn income by selling larvae. They sell eggs, they sell liquid fertilizer, and also they sell processed feed. So you may be wondering, how do people earn from this business? So you see that there are many end products which a farmer or entrepreneur can get income from. River, eggs, liquid fertilizers, and also processed feed. Those are also all sorts of income, but also protecting our greener future. Okay, next slide, please. Now we are still moving from better to better, from good to better. We are coming to the next green economy. Green economy. Now we are going to learn about green computing. Why green computing? Green computing is a way of designing, using, managing, and disposing of IT resources in environmentally responsible manner. In many communities, they take those materials from technological devices or digital materials for granted. They spread somewhere without considering how it's going to happen, which impact are they going to make to our environment. But we are here, we are young people, we are learning, so we need to be careful about spreading those devices because they are not even biodegradable. they can stay in many years. So imagine how impactful they are negative. So this green computing is a way of collecting those technological materials and reuse them. How are you going to correct to collect those materials and reuse them? Also, dynamic workload management use algorithm to efficiently distribute computing tasks. This green computing technique is a way of how can you distribute instead of saying this material is getting old, let me throw it away. So you have to make sure that you are using your device effectively and efficiently for its task so that it can't be taken as it's not performing its function. Optimizing data centers. This is a way of implements real-time energy monitoring for usage insights. This is a method of utilizing effectively and efficiently the energy. How do you save energy? Because you know the energy which is taken from our environment, it has to be used manageably so that we can't exhaust it. That's why we are trying to also to see which method can we use in order to use very low energy and do very good work. So green infrastructure, this is also the method of green computing or principle is integrates technology directly with renewable energy sources. We have also to consider renewable energy sources. How are we using our technology? You know, our technology is advancing. How are we using it in making sure that we are using it in renewable energy sources like solar energy, you know, it's renewable, water is renewable. So we have also to use our technology in renewable energy sources. Next slide, please. Here is one business you can do is e-waste business opportunity. The project you can do is safely collecting, recycling, disposing of all the computers, phones, and printers. These materials are many times taken for granted, where they are put in the dustbin. People thinking that they are old, they have to be thrown away. So we, as Climate and Wash, who are attending this virtual summit, you have to be aware of the usage of these materials. So you have to collect them, computers, phones, printers, and reuse them. You have to repair, you have to replenish or refurbish them and resell usable device. You know, these are a device which are not completely ended. There are some which are renewable, which you can learn. You can go on and learn how to replenish those materials so that you can do business, which you take all the material and renew them. So environmental impact, safe disposes of hazardous components to strictly reduce pollution. You know, these materials cause land pollution. This land pollution, which has very, which brings very impact to our farmers. You know, when farmers are cultivating crops and in that land, there are many devices like this on the picture. Fertilizer can't be spreaded and land can't be health. That's why we need to make sure that we are collecting those materials in very safe and reduce the pollutions to spread in everywhere we see. An economic impact of this business is that we create jobs in recycling and generate income from recycled materials. You know, We have to correct them and use them. That's why they are very good business. As we are revolutionaries of climate economy, we have to make sure that we are implementing this project. Next slide. Here we are coming to the better one. This is another project you have to implement. Many people which are more modernized, they say, I like it to go in the building which has good air condition. Why can't we be the first and be the people to influence others? Green building and architecture. This is a structure designed to reduce environmental impact while improving occupant health, comfort, and productivity. This green breathing is how you breathe, but also remembering that your breathing has to bring a green future. It has to remain green and it has to bring green air to that environment. When you breathe, where you are breathing is supposed to have some plant which are being grown there. So you have to remain you are breathing green so that green air will be good air will be blowing around. So key features: solar power integration, natural lighting, rainwater harvesting, sustainable materials. Those are characteristics of green building. When you are building your house, you have to make sure that you are relying on solar power integration or solar energy, natural lighting, rainwater harvesting. Don't let all water from your house running off but to make sure that you are using that water, because water is very useful in different activities. So resources efficiently use the energy, water, and materials throughout the breeding entire life cycle. So water can be used for irrigation. Those water from our houses can be used for irrigation. So you have to collect water in order to be used in other activities instead of letting water run off and cause soil erosion. So soil benefits improve indoor health, comfort, and workplace, school, and productivity. When you have good breeding, which is green, many people like to come there instead of going where the sun is shining without any tree which is planted there. So people prefer to come there. That's why this is good choice to make your house green. Next slide. I tried to find for you an example which shows how green breeding looks good. The Eastgate Center. This is a case study I tried to use in Zimbabwe. This is a good house which shows how green breeding is implemented. So those who live in Zimbabwe or wherever there are some good houses which are exemplaries, which you can see how attractive they are. So we have to imitate them and use this business to bring income to our pockets. So by mimicry, famous for an innovative and natural ventilation system inspired by Hermit Mound. This breeding was built considering how termites build their house or where they live. That's why this house was breeding by mimicking it. So energy efficiency uses significantly less energy for cooling compared to conventional breeding. When on your breeding there are many trees, there is no usage of those machines to find a cord. That's why green breeding is a very good condition to live in. Economic saving proves green breeding deliver lower utility costs, lower maintenance, and increased property value. As you know, there is no need of using many machines, many machines to repair and to cool the house. That's why it lasts many years. considering or comparing with those houses which are not having those trees which are planted nearby. And next slide. So now we are coming to the next business opportunity, or the economic activity which sustain our environment: renewable energy. Renewable energy is the energy from natural sources that are continuously replenished and do not run out. Like water, like sun. Those are our source of energy which are natural and they are renewable. Today you can use the sun. Next day you can also use that sun. That's why it is called renewable. So solar energy uses sunlight to generate clean electricity and heat water. So solar energy is very useful and renewable energy, which is used naturally without degrading our environment, without harming our environment. Wind energy also converts wind environment movement into electricity using specialized turbines. There are turbines which correct winds and convert into electricity. This is also a good way of converting uh, energy, wind to energy. It also sustains environment because it prevents people to exploit our environment, finding other source of energy. So other source of energy ecosystem can also integrate hydropower, biomass, biogas for sustainable. Hydropower is the energy from water. Water is also renewable because you can use electricity. You can use water to generate electricity today and tomorrow and the next day. That's why to use water as a source of energy is very sustaining way of preventing the environment of being exploited in one or other way. So biomass, biomass is collected, in many swamps. Uh, they are biomass or biogas where they are collected energy and use it in livelihood activities. So those are how renewable energy are used to make sure that our environment is being saved from exploited, like cutting them for firewood, like using them for other activities, but let's rely on natural given by God. Those are energy which are not exploiting our environment. Next, right? So energy business integration challenge. So the goal is to provide a sustainable, clean power for homes, business, and industries. So the goal of using energy, uh, of integrating those renewable energy in business is to make sure that we are using sustainable ways to use to do business in our homes and other industries. We are doing business, but we are sustaining our environment. So the challenge of overcoming initial investment barriers and addressing energy storage needs. So these are some challenges that initial investment face. Initial investment face the challenge of what can I start from? What can I start with? But you have seen some business without which don't require any hard cash, like black soldier fry. You have learned how useful it is to use it and to start business. You may be thinking of poultry farming, but when you think of market feeds, they are expensive. But today you have learned how you can use black soldier fry to start your business. So don't be limited by investment barriers, but think of the ways to sustain environment, but also doing business. So the opportunity: drive entrepreneurship, technical training, and green jobs. So in using these ways, we have been looking thing, you do entrepreneurship. You become an entrepreneur because you are able to start your project. You can use those that e-waste. You use technological digital materials which are taken as old ones and you replenish to be used again. So you need also technical training. And when you attend this summit like this, you get new knowledge where you can integrate or you can implement your own project. So you get green jobs. And now, at the end of this summit, you are going to go and start your job or find where you can implement this knowledge that you got from this summit. So make sure that you are not going to sit in your home without doing an activity which is going to implement what you have learned. So the necessity green energy is strictly required to power our Black Soldier Fry operation and the green IT network. So what we need to do, as I've been saying, you have to go and start operation. You have to go and start green IT network. You start impacting your community from the knowledge that you get from today or last days. Next, right? And so those projects are interdependent because one can complementing another. You see, as this image shows, Black Soldier Fry system come to green computing, comes to green breeding, also comes to renewable energy. Together, they make great impact to environment where we get to reach to our goal of our sustainable greener future. Next, right? So as a conclusion, embracing these four pillars allows us to build truly sustainable future. When we embrace those four pillars we have seen, we are going to make sure that our future is going to be better as we are dreaming. Success requires continuous innovation and highly efficient resources use. So we have to make sure that today we are using resources, but also tomorrow. We must adopt a strict environmental responsibility in our business. Let's adopt what you have learned in our daily life businesses. So the integrated approach creates a greener, more resilient world for future generation. So next, right? So thank you for your attention. It has taken some a bigger time, but it was relevant because there were some pillars where you can implement business, sustaining better future. So thank you for your attention, and it was Ferdinand from Crustec Network. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ferdinand, for that wonderful presentation. And now we want to actually allow you guys to actually ask questions as well. So please feel free to ask your questions in the chat, and I will be able to pick one or two who who I'll highlight, and then we'll be able to give Mr. Ferdinand the opportunity to ask. So I'll be scrolling through your comments, and I will just be looking for those with questions. So if you have questions, please do ask them now. We'll give him 10 minutes to answer your questions. So please, by all means, ask away. People are appreciating the presentation. Yes, it was a wonderful presentation, and it is now up to you to feel empowered. But as we told you, it's not just another summit where we are dictating to you these things. We are going to take each other through a 4-week course where we will implement these things in practicality and create a document, a handbook for us to use so that we can begin to do these businesses in our own countries? Yes, we have a question from at Lukia Tambula. It says, does the black soldier fly cause any harm to the ones who handles it? That is a question for you, Mr. Ferdinand. Please feel free to answer.
Okay, thank you for your question. She asks that does the black soldier fly cause any harm to ones to handle it? I've started saying that the betterment of these business is that those flies never ever cause or spread any disease. That's why we use them in business and we use them in feeding our red animals. That's why they are very good choice to be used. They never spread any disease. Thank you.
All right. Second question here. It's saying, what else can you use the larvae of black soldier flies apart from feeding fish?
Okay, thank you for your question. You're asking what other things you can use apart from feeding fish. You can use them for feeding chicken or poultry farming, and also pigs. Pigs, they need protein-rich food. That's why you feed them fish, you feed them poultry or the chicken, also you feed them the pigs. That's why they are very useful in the farming, rearing of animals. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Another question here from Ms. Azaria Nkoma. They're asking how to dispose of non-reusable e-waste.
Okay, thank you so much. How to dispose of non-reusable e-waste? Firstly, as we are revolutionaries, we have to take first part to teach us to sensitize our community how to dispose of those e-wastes. And as we have seen, they are used in business. Don't let your community dispose anyhow they want, but mobilize them to dispose where you will correct them and reuse them or repair them for next usage. That's why they have to be disposed properly. Thank you.
All right. I'll take 3 more questions. This one is asking, among renewable energy, green computing, and circular economy solutions, which sector currently offers the greatest opportunity for young entrepreneurs?
Okay, he or she asks good questions. She's eager to know which is good or which is better than others. For me, I would recommend you both all together they are good, but it depends on what you are according to your sector. Either you did IT as education, so you are familiar with e-waste. You have to consider e-waste according to your expertise, so that you correct those devices and repair. But when you are in construction, make sure that you are contributing to a green building in order to make sure that you are also contributing to the sustainable environment. Yeah, that's how we can try to answer you.
All right. Thank you very much. Two more questions and then we'll let you go, sir. One is asking here how to manage non-degradable waste such as glasses.
Okay, this is a good question. Those glasses, they are non-degradable. So you have to make sure that you put them in a specific way, specific material or like dust bin, which is specifically for those glasses, not to mix them with other materials because they are not reused. and they are not replenished. That's why we need to make sure that we are sensitizing our communities. Whenever they use glasses, they need to put or to dispose of there in a specific place where they are not going to be mixed in different materials. Yeah, that's how to make sure that they are properly kept. Thank you.
All right, and we have our last question here from Esther. She's asking, how best can you facilitate those who are interested in green business? So here we have Mr. Ferdinand representing Crust Eco Network. They do an amazing work wherever they are found, and as well as Agro 263, which is based in Zimbabwe. We are able to facilitate or to at least give you further insight into these things. Mr. Ferdinand here is someone who is very much into the environmental sciences, but I'll let him answer this question for himself, and then I'll add more to what he has to say.
Okay, thank you for a good question, Esther. You're asking how can we facilitate those who are interested in green business. Firstly, what we recommend you is to attend master classes. In the Crest Eco Network, we have master classes which where we deliver sessions about green businesses, how to implement a green project, how to manage those projects. That's why you need to attend, or you need to find connections with those green organization where you will get information of how to monitor those green businesses. That's how I can tell you. But in addition, you have to find connections with those people who do green businesses so that they will give you the way to start your business and grow with them, because information is the best thing we need in order to start ours. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Ferdinand. I think this brings us to the end of your session. Thank you very much. For those who have further questions, please feel free to ask in the WhatsApp group. We'll then liaise with Krasnico Network perhaps to do a further masterclass on this, or we can share information on how you can find them on their social medias and you can join their masterclasses for their upcoming cohorts. I have personally gained very much from their masterclasses, which is why I thought it was best to bring them onto this virtual summit. So thank you, Mr. Ferdinand. We'll take your leave now.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, upcoming, we have another session, our last session being presented by Miss Natasha Moyo. Natasha Moyo representing an organization called Elevate Trust, and she will be taking you through the money part of it, the grant writing part of it, which is something that young people should be able to do. I've personally been a beneficiary of a few grants, and I can promise you that the more you know how to tell your story. Yesterday we had a storytelling masterclass. How do you then translate your story into an impact story? So Miss Natasha Moyo is going to take us through that presentation. I'm just going to briefly read through her bio to just let you know who she is and let's assess if she's qualified to take us through this course. So Miss Natasha Moyo is the Programs and Communications Manager at Elevate Trust, where she oversees youth development programs, strategic communications, and partnerships that promote STEM, innovation, and entrepreneurship. She is a youth and women empowerment advocate and entrepreneur, passionate about creating opportunities that equip young people with practical skills to solve real-world challenges. Her work focuses on innovation, climate resilience, digital skills, and community development, with a strong belief in the power of young people to drive sustainable change across Africa. Thank you, Ms. Natasha Moyo, for taking the time. Please, the stage is yours. Take us through your presentation. I will now add it to the screen. And yes, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Tanatwa. Hello, everyone. I'm Natasha Moyo. And yes, like Tanatwa said, that is all about me. I am the Programs and Communications Manager at Elevate Trust, and we are a youth empowerment and capacity building organization. So, yes, so today I'm going to be taking you through funding, how to get your ideas funded, which I think is what most of us have been waiting for, because we all want the money, right? We cannot scale up our projects without the money. So that is what my presentation and my session is about today. So we'll start with the hard truth about funding, what most people do not like to hear, right? We'll start from there. So when it comes to funding, right, we have two types of people, right? We have the activist, right? And we also have the builder mindset. So the activists, these are the type of people who know how to talk a lot, right? You know how to talk a lot. You talk about the problem a lot, but you're not bringing a solution. It's always focusing on the problem, right? And then when you also see people who can fund you, or people we can call them rich, when you see those people, you always focus on asking them for money, but you're not really bringing a solution or something that can assist them. That's what we call the activist mindset. So this won't get you funded, because when those type of people see you, they want you to be bringing a solution to problems. So that's where we go to the builder mindset. So you're coming with a solution. You've identified a problem in your community, and then you're bringing a solution. You're telling us what exactly to do, the ABCs of how to solve that particular problem, and that's how you're going to get funded. So we should always aim to have the builder mindset, not the activist mindset. There's nothing wrong with being an activist, but you should be an activist who also knows how to solve problems. Don't just focus on the problems without coming up with a solution. Sit down, plan, and think, okay, there's this problem, right? How can I then find a solution to this problem? What can I do? What role can I play in solving this problem? That's what's going to get you funded. That's what's going to catch the eye of the people that can find you. That's what's going to win you grants. If you can actively look for the problem and also come up with a solution and not just focus on the problem. So that's our start. So when going forward, I want us all to have the builder mindset. Be the type of person who knows how to come up with solutions and not only focuses on the problem, because we all see the problems, right? Like, if, for example, if we take here in Zimbabwe, we'd say employment, there's a low rate of employment. A lot of young people are unemployed. We all see that. It's a problem. We all see that. But then what's the solution? We can't all then sit down and cry and say there are no jobs and not come up with the solutions. But then you have to have the builder mindset, where you then bring a solution to that problem. Yes, next slide, please. Okay, thank you. So, like what most of you came for today is, where do you actually find the money, right? So I want to also highlight something, right? When you're looking for funding, don't focus on the money, but focus on being the type of person that people want to fund, that organizations want to fund, that the people with the money want to fund, right? Instead of you being the one who's chasing those people, like, I need money, I want this, become the type of person that those people would want to fund, right? So this actually happens in 3 steps, how you can actually achieve this and become someone who people want to fund and not the one who's always chasing the funds, right? So step 1, we've got our trainings, fellowships, and boot camps, right? So this is where you gather with other young people, maybe in the same space. Like right now, we're focusing on climate change, right? You gather and you learn with those people. You're taught that people will come in and they train you guys on how to scale your projects, on how to go from A to Z, what you do, and everything in between. So you first have to learn. So this is like the learning phase, which is the phase that most of us don't like, because there's no money yet. But you can't then get to step 3 without doing the step. Right? So you always have to attend. If you hear there's a program where Global Shapers, for example, is teaching people about climate change and the ABCs, what to do when it comes to solving problems, attend those. It will just take 30 minutes or an hour of your time, but it will be worth it. It makes you the person that's worth funding, not the person who chases the funds, right? And then we then go to step 2, This is where you've learned the ABCs. You now know how to create something, or you've already started working on something. So this is where we have pitch competitions. These are the competitions that happen. This is usually nationwide, where you have competitions between young people, and we see if your idea is actually fundable, if it's realistic. Right. So this is, for example, in Zimbabwe, we have the ZITF Innovators Forum. So ZITF Innovators Forum is countrywide. Young people bring up their solutions to certain problems, and then they come and then they showcase them. Right? And we assess them, we go through them. And then the top 3 actually get to win. They get to win and they get to be scaled up. So that's where you start from also. You have to go through those pitch competitions. That's where they also get to assess your project. Right? They get to assess if it's something that's feasible, something that can be sustainable in the long run, not just something that you would do now and then, but you cannot scale it and then it just ends. So you do have to take part in most of this. If you can, all of them, they will help you a lot. They will teach you, even if you do not win, they will teach you and they'll help you grow bigger. Right. And then we go to step 3, which is one of the biggest. Now you are receiving the grants. Right. Let's say climate grants. You are receiving the grant because you've done the work. Now you are eligible to apply for those grants. Right. So when we talk about grants, which is next slide, please. Okay. So before that, when we talk about grants, right, we are talking about an organization level type of grants, right? So you need to have an organization, or at least have a team of people that you're working with, because you cannot then apply for a grant on your own. Right? You can, but your higher chance of getting it is when you're working as a team, because a lot goes into a grant. Most of the grants that we get are about 50,000, right? More or less, but around 50,000. So for you to be able to get that grant, you have to be working with other people. You need the assistance. You cannot be a team of one. This is where the power of teamwork works. Okay, that's where we go to, yes, our next slide, which is the power of a good team. So a good team consists of 4 types of people. So we have the visionary, we have the builder, we have the number cruncher, and we have the community mobilizer. So the visionary, this is the type of person who usually comes up with the idea. This is usually the brains of the whole idea, who can find the problem and then comes up with the solution. So that's what we call the visionary, right? So the visionary will sit down and also write the grant. That he's going to come up with the grant, write the ABCs of the grant, what's needed on the grant, right? And then come up with the solutions, right? He's also the one who is going to talk to the local organizations, other people, and get more people on board, get people wanting to fund that project. And then we have the builder. The builder is the one who now works on the project. The builder is the one who is going to build what's needed. He's the one who looks for the materials. He knows what's needed, right? He knows what's needed to build it, and he looks for the right type of material. And then we have the finance, the number cruncher. This is the financial person. This is the one who deals with the numbers, the finance. This is the one who then looks at the budget, looks at the project, and says, okay, we're going to need this, 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 and this. Right? This is the finance part. This is your accountants. They look at the numbers. And then we have the last one, who is the community mobilizer. So the community mobilizer is the one who then goes out to the people. This is the people's person, the friendly one, who then goes to a certain community. Let's say if it's a village, he's the one who talks to the chief and tells them, Chief, we have this idea. We want to drill 5 boreholes in this area. Would you allow us to do that? Right. He goes to the community, though, everyone who's there. Okay, we want to build boreholes in this place. Would you allow us to do that? Would you be happy with that? You need to know that people are going to accept what you're making, because you could come up with the idea, work on it for a very long time, but the people in your community don't actually want what you're doing. So you have to know what people want. So this is what the community mobilizer does. So that makes a team, which is a team of 4 people. Thank you. Next slide, please.
Natasha, you're going to have to present without the slides. We're having a small malfunction, but I'm sure you're able to take them through without the slides while I try to bring back the slides.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. Thank you. Okay, so now we go to the grants, right? Which is the most important part of this session. So when it comes to grants, there are three types of grants, right? So they are the call-outs. This is the famous ones, the ones that you see on LinkedIn, where it's a call for proposals where they want you to apply. So there are so many of those. You see on the youth opportunities page, there are call outs for those. Then we have the unsolicited grants, right? So this is where you actually apply for the grant. You write an application without the grant, without a call for proposals. You write to a certain organization, you feel like, okay, what I'm doing, this organization might be interested in it. So I'm going to write a grant to them. I'm going to write a proposal requesting for funding, right? And then we have the invitation only grant. This is where a selected number of people or a selected group of people are called out to apply for the grant, right? So what goes into the grant? When you look at a grant, you have to see if it fits you, if it fits who you are and what you do. Don't just apply for everything. You are in the climate space. There is a call for biotech, something that has to do with biotech. You're applying for that. There is a call for, let's say, women fellowship. There's a women fellowship, but you are focusing on the climate space. And then you go there also. You are everywhere. So you should focus on one thing. People should know what you do, right? You should know what you do yourself, right? So that's what happens when it comes to grants. You have to know what you want and know what you want to do. So it comes to then when you know the problem also, you have to know your problem very well. Whatever it is that you are talking about, you have to be able to explain it in such a way that everyone else can understand. So I always say, if you cannot explain it to a fifth grader, then you do not know your problem and you do not know the solution. So you should be able to explain it. You should know your problem in and out. You should know the solution also in and out. That way, it's so easy to convince the funders, or even the people writing the grant, for them to fund you. And then when we go to the unsolicited grant, this is where now you apply yourself. You select an organization and choose to apply for what you want, right? What are the amount of money you want. So when it comes to grants also, it's rare for them to fund individuals. If you are asking for funding, usually they might fund you through fellowships and scholarships. That's through education. They want you to learn. But when it comes to getting the money, which is what most people want, you have to have an organization of some sort. Yes, an organization that is registered, because they have to trust you with their money also. So they have to know that you're not going to take their money and go splash it on other things, but you're actually going to use that money for good. So that's where you now create your organization. If you already have it, you guys sit down as a team, you apply for this grant. So what goes into it when you're starting off, they need to know who you are. Right? You need to introduce yourself also, what you do and why you're doing it. Right? You have to state who you are and where you're from and why exactly they should fund you. Then you come to your problem also. You have to state it very clearly. Like I said, also you have to state it in a way that a fifth grader could understand it. You should show that you know your problem very well and that the solution that you have is actually going to be something that works. So another thing that gets into grants is they're going to read your grant. They have to see if it's something that's sustainable or it's something that actually works. We all have those good ideas. Some are great ideas, actually. I remember we had one student who applied, right, for the Innovators Forum. So they had a good idea. It was about turning used oil into fuel for cars. She came up with a good plan. You could see that, okay, no, this could actually work, using used cooking oil, right, as fuel for cars. She had it all planned out. But then we had to sit down and think also, okay, how many households are we going to get used cooking oil from to supply all the cars that we have, right? So it could be a good idea, but on a larger scale, is it going to work? So you have to think about that also when you're writing your grant and coming up with your ideas, right? On a larger scale, is it going to work? Because we come up with these prototypes. You're creating something, it's a prototype, it's small, it's working. But on a larger scale, when we take it out into the market, into the community, is it actually going to work? So those are the things that you have to think about, sit down and think about, right? So this all contributes to your grant. It all contributes to knowing the problem and coming up with the right solution. And it's not a one-man job. You could think, oh, I've got the brains. A lot of people would think that way, that I can do it. I've got the brains. I could do this. But there's a lot that goes into a grant. Like for us as Elevate Trust, we are a NPO, which is a non-profit organization. So we rely a lot on those grants. And you notice there could be like 5 grants, but we all have to help each other with those grants. Because for one person, you cannot know everything. You're also going to miss out on certain things. So you need people who can help you. Right? So that's the power of teamwork. You have to be able to work well with others, because together, that's where the strength comes from. On your own, you could make a lot of errors. Right. So also we have investments, right? We've got the grants and then we've got investments. So when we talk about a grant, this is where an organization, usually it's an organization, gives you the money that you're asking for, and they don't expect you to pay it back. So you've been given the money, you tell them that you're going to do ABC, and they give you the money, they fund that, and they don't expect you to pay it back, but they do expect results. So you cannot take people's money, then you go and spend it and don't work on their project that they're funding. You could get arrested. So make sure you use the money for what you're saying you're going to be using it for. Then we have investments. This is where you approach someone, let's say the CEO of an organization, and you feel like you really have a good idea. There's a problem that you've noticed, right? And you've got the solution, and you think, okay, my solution is going to work, and you believe it, right? 100%, you believe this is actually going to work. Then you approach this organization, you approach the CEO or this rich person that you know, and you show them your problem, your solution, the whole concept note. And if they like it, they invest in it. But when it comes to investments, those people expect something back. So you have to have this written. They will tell you what they expect back. You will tell them what you are offering. And remember, everyone wants to win, right? In as much as you want money also from those people, they also expect something in return. It could be money, it could be you making an impact, but they also expect something in return. So don't always think about yourself. I want the money, I want to become rich, I want a brighter future for myself. What impact are you making? What contribution are you making to those people? What would make the CEO want to invest in your idea? What would make this organization sit down and think, okay, we should invest in his or her idea? So this is where the planning comes in. Knowing your problem, knowing the solution, and being certain, testing it out, doing your research, do the work. Money will not come that fast, right? You have to do the work. Make sure after you do the work, then those grants, those opportunities come easily because you've done the necessary work. But you cannot get the opportunities without doing the work. So you have to put in the work. I know when we come into this conversations where someone is going to be talking about money, we expect them to tell us, go to this bank and tell them you want 5,000, tell them you want 50,000 and you get it. It does not work like that, right? You have to put in the work also. You have to put in the work in your idea. Use the brains. Once you use the brains, it's easy for people to fund what you have thought of. You make it easier for them to support you. So always make sure you've done the work, you've done the research, that if anyone comes and tells you, no, this won't work, you can 100% be very sure that, no, it will actually work. Tell them that you've tried it and tested it and you know that it's going to work, right? So I'm going to give you an example of what to put when you're writing a problem and a solution, right? And how exactly it should go. So for example, let's say they are low rainfalls, right? Your problem will be there's been low rainfall. Because of those low rainfalls, farmers are not getting as much produce, right? The livestock is dying. We're not getting we're not getting any crops, right? And then your solution is maybe you're going to create a solar irrigation system that is an irrigation system that is solar powered, right? And also you're going to teach those farmers how to be climate smart and farm in a climate smart way, right? So you've said your problem, which is the low rainfalls, which is affecting the farmers. And then you've stated your solution, what you're going to do to assist those farmers. Then when it then comes to your breakdown, right? When you're now breaking down this to the people you are applying to, you now show them the step by step of what you're going to do, how you're going to do this. Say you're targeting 15 farmers. You're going to start with 15 farmers. You tell them that I need money to train these 15 farmers on how to be climate smart. I need money. I need a certain amount of money, let's say $200, which I'm going to use to buy what are they called? What are those called? Dry resistant crops. Yes, it's dry resistant crops that they are going to plant, right? And then you also state we want solar. I need $5,000 to plant to establish this solar systems. There's these solar systems, right, in all the farmers' places, right? So you're stating how much you want and stating what you want the money for. This makes it easier for the people who are giving you the money to know where exactly the money is going to be used for, because you're stating that, okay, for the farmers, I need to train these farmers. So maybe you state I need about 500 to train the farmers to be going to their areas and training them. You state that I need 1,000 to build my solar systems that are going to power the irrigation systems, right? And you also state that we need transportation, we need the dry resistant crops. So you are stating what you're going to use the money for. You're not just going and saying, I need 50,000. How are you going to use this 50,000? That you are showing them where exactly the money is going to be going to, which is the most important part of you asking for an investment, for you asking for funding, for money. They have to know where exactly is your money going, which is the most important part. Know where your money is going. Sit down also, and you can only know that if you've done your research. You've done your research, you know your problem in and out. That's how you then get the funding. That's how you then get the support that you need. Right. So we then move on to the problems that you're going to face, right? Applying for a grant, like I said, is not that easy. Right? It's possible, very much possible. Yes, it's very much possible and very much works, but it's not always that you're going to get a yes. Right? You are going to face a lot of rejections, maybe not a lot, but you are going to get no's when you do your applications, right? But do not be discouraged when you get those no's. This is just a redirection. So you apply for a grant as a team, you've done the work, you've done everything that I said, you know your problem, you know your solution, you apply for this grant, but then you don't get it. Don't give up. That doesn't mean that the solution that you came up with is wrong. It doesn't mean that the problem doesn't exist. It just means that maybe you were not part of the people selected. Maybe there were a few people that they wanted to select. Do apply again. You apply again 3, 4, 10 times. You don't get it. Don't quit. Keep going, because those rejections are going to come. But eventually you're going to get a yes. And for you to get a yes also, you've applied 10 times using the same thing, or 3 times, and you're getting no's. You have to ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? Right? And also, these organizations, you'd be amazed at how much they want to hear back from you. They say no to you. Send them an email. Thank you so much. I received the news. I am very heartbroken and hurt that I didn't get in, but I would like to know how best can I go with my project? What mistakes did I make? What loopholes did I make that I can fix for the future? Ask those people. They are there for you and they want to answer you. They want to respond. They want to assist you. So send that email. Go to even other people that have done what you've done before. Ask them for assistance. Okay, I've been applying for these grants, but I'm not getting it. What am I doing wrong? Right? Because constructive criticism really helps. Some people will tell you that, okay, no, you did this wrong, and you'd be hurt to, but I put in my best sleepless nights doing this. But then they've gone through the path also. They can assist you. They can show you that, okay, no, you could have taken this path. It would make it better for you. It would make this project better. So listen to it. Always want advice. Always need advice from the people who've gone through the path that you've gone through, and don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. Even if you apply 50 times and you get a no, you grow from it. The more you apply, the more you grow. So you go to other people, ask them. Once you've gotten it wrong, send them an email. Trust me, they'll respond to you. They'll tell you what you should have done right. And don't expect quick results. Be more eager to make an impact than eager to make the money. Be more eager to focus on coming up with a solution that will help than the money. And you will see that the money will actually look for you than you looking for the money, when you know that you're solving an actual problem and you're helping people. Right? So let's focus more on making an impact, making solutions that work, solving problems instead of chasing the money. Right. So what I'm going to end with, I'm hoping I didn't leave anything from my slides since we didn't have the slides. But what I hope that you take from this presentation is that the opportunities that you want will only meet you at the level of your self-development. That means you have to work on yourself. You have to be the person who is worthy of getting those grants, right? You could want to apply, you could apply and all that, but you're just applying last minute. Right? You saw there's this grant that's open, and then 30 minutes or 2 hours before you just apply. But no, the people who took their time, we had months of research, they're the ones who get it. Hard work actually pays. So you have to be willing to do the work in order to get the results. So don't just wait for, no, I'm going to sit here and wait and opportunity will locate me. You have to work for it. Like I always tell the people that I meet, closed mouths don't get fed. Don't wait for the call out to come out and say, I'm going to apply when that call out comes. Go banging on those doors at these organizations. Have a target each week. Okay, I've come up with the solution to the certain problem and I believe it works. I'm going to target these 5 organizations every week. I'm going to knock and show them what I came up with, what I can do. And trust me, you get it eventually. You get no's, and that is normal. That is okay. You are growing from that. Accept the no's and move on to the next. Knock at those doors. That don't wait for opportunity to locate you. You go out, look for it. Become the person who deserves it. Develop yourself, be consistent. Tell yourself each and every day, I've got like an hour or 30 minutes where I am fully working on my project. And then the money will look for you instead of you looking for the money. And also put yourself out there. I hope all of you right here are on LinkedIn. Look for those opportunities, even if you're on TikTok and whatnot. The things that you watch matter. Follow the right channels. Follow where you find opportunities, where the opportunities are at, and it will help you grow. Trust me, just an hour of you searching for these opportunities and becoming the person who deserves this. I'm sorry, I could go on forever being a motivational speaker, but yeah, that would be how end there. Just become the person who deserves the money. That's what I will end with. And also, if you need assistance when it comes to your grant writing, you can follow us on our social media channels and also send us a message. We are Elevate Trust, ZW Elevate Trust, through each and every platform. And then I'm Natasha Moyo on LinkedIn and Instagram. So do follow us, and we are eager to help you. Would be happy to assist, and do make a change in the communities that you're at. And don't just focus on the money, but focus on becoming the person. Tanata. Oh, can people hear me? Or is Tanata's something happened to Tanata's network or it's mine? Why is that? Okay, let me go to the comment section. Oh, I think we lost Tanata. I think he was having a network problem, but it's okay. I think we can continue without him. So that would be okay. We can continue. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, I'm great. I thought I was I thought I was the one with the problem. So okay, if you have any questions, maybe as we wait for Tanata, I don't know what happened. If you have any questions, I would be willing to answer any questions. I think we lost Tanata. That's the problem. I'm not sure what's going on, but we seem to have lost him. So I'll be taking any questions if you have questions. Yeah, I also thought it was my network. I thought maybe, but you guys heard the whole presentation? Did you hear everything till the end? Or you lost me somewhere? Because now I'm thinking I was speaking this whole time and you could not hear. Is Natasha live? You guys couldn't hear me. Don't tell me that you couldn't hear me this whole time. Yeah, we play music. So Tanato is the only one who can play music from his end. He controls the music from his end, unless I can play music from my side, from my phone, and we dance as we wait. Okay, so I got this question from Lukia Tambula. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm sorry, please correct me if I'm wrong. She says, if your organization is not registered, can it still qualify for the grant application? So it depends on the grant that you're applying for. It depends on the grant that you're applying for. So there are some grants that are very strict, that they want your organization to be registered. So you have to make sure it's registered. So you just look at the requirements that they have in that grant application and make sure that you have the requirements that they want. But yeah, I'd say just to be on the safe side, register your organization, because then you qualify for everything else. And I think it's not much. It's really not much to apply for to register your organization. So just to be on the safe side, register the organization. You can register it as a non-profit organization if you don't have the money to pay the taxes and everything else. Just register as an NPO. Right. I think we'll share when Tanata shares the slides. I'll also share with you the types of registration types of organizations and companies that you can register and come up with. So we'll send to you and you guys can then go through it and see what you can register as. And yeah, it's best when you register. Oh, you could hear me. That's great. Okay. Okay, so it says, Prosper Mukumba says, when will you know when to give up on a certain grant? So I'd say don't give up, right? Don't give up. Just, you need the assistance first. You've applied for the grant, you didn't get it. Go to someone who once got it, right? And ask them the steps that they took. And don't give up. If it comes out, if you feel like, okay, I qualify for this, keep on applying, even if it means you're applying 100 times. Eventually they'll be like, okay, we know this Prosper Mukumbwa is always applying, and they will give it to you. So do not quit as long as you're doing the right things. After you've applied, you ask them, what did I go wrong? And trust me, they'll respond to you. And go to other people who got it and ask them, what can I do to fix this, to fix what I did wrong? Where did I go wrong? And how then can I get it next time? Okay. Oh, the best presentation ever. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So Figilin Lovu says, hi, let's say an individual has come up with a really good solution. How do they go about the issues to do with intellectual property protecting their idea? That is very important. That is very important. I think I would say as Elevate Trust, we usually work with high school students and varsity students, well, young people who are usually in like tertiary institutions. And I would say those people can help you um, with this intellectual property and protecting your idea because that is very real. You could go to someone, we've had cases where someone goes with a really brilliant idea and they go to an investor and the investor steals the idea. It's very much possible. So I'd say protect your idea. Go to the institutions that you have, your hubs, they can protect you. The schools that you have, let's say for this side, we've got NAST, the National University of Science and Technology. They assist students when it comes to that intellectual property stuff. Of course, they'll have like a certain percentage that they get, but it's very low. And if you're someone who cannot pay for, protecting your own idea, I think that would be the best place to start at. But do protect your idea, unless you really trust the person that they won't sabotage you and steal your idea. But yes, protect your idea by all means, because people steal ideas and it's very real. And you cannot fight it if it's like an investor who's worth millions or billions, and then there's, you come saying, oh no, I started, you might not get the protection or the defense that you really need. So I think just to be on the safe side, go to local institutions and ask them to help you protect your idea because yes, it does happen. Okay, can individual advocates also apply for funding grants or they have to form an organization? So I would say you can apply, but the chances of you applying for a grant and getting it as an individual are low. I'm not saying that impossible. It's not impossible. You might get it. You might be very lucky and get it. But usually they would ask themselves, how do they trust that you're not going to use this money for other things? They don't have proof. They can't like backtrack and see the type of person that you are. But if it's an organization, people rate organizations. People talk about those organizations that, oh, we've seen them doing ABC. But if it's just you as an individual, people would ask, okay, do we really trust her or him enough with our money? So what they could give you is a fellowship or a scholarship for you to go and learn. But money as an individual, it's rare. What I would say you can do as an individual is request for an investment. That's you going to a certain person or a certain organization, showing them your problem, showing them your solution, and you ask them to invest in your idea. That means once it pops up, you're going to return something to them. Right? So it's not impossible, but it's better. Your chances are higher of winning when you're an organization and teamwork. Most people who put out these grants, they value teamwork. So they want to see that you are able to work with other people. Because if you can't work with a team, then how will you work with other people in your community? So you have to be able to work with a team. Okay. Let's see. The whole presentation was audible. Okay, I'm grateful for this. Thank you so much. Which are possible international organizations that can provide grants? Okay, so for this, you have to look them up, like on LinkedIn. LinkedIn provides a lot of this. But I would say, I think the United Nations usually also has these call-outs where they want people to come up with proposals, right, and apply for the certain grants that they have. We have the AU, EU, right, African Union, European Union. They also have those call-outs for grants. But there are a lot more, and I would say for you to access them, you should be on platforms that post this. So go to LinkedIn, follow Youth Opportunities. Yes, I think the platform is called Youth Opportunities. Follow these organizations, the United Nations, AU, EU, follow them, right? Even when you're scrolling on your Instagram and your TikTok, follow this, right? Be the type who hears this type of news, not seeing people dancing and whatnot. Not saying that dancing is wrong. Dancing is perfectly fine, but have a time where you focus on things that actually build you up. Right? So that's you actively looking for this, opportunities and applying. And yes, if it relates to what you're doing, apply for it. Even if you may feel, I might be underqualified, I might not get it, just apply. The more applications Tanato coming in. Oh, no, there was something happening. I thought it was Tanato coming in. Oh, is it my network? Okay. Those grants really give headaches. Yes, nothing comes easy. Nothing comes easy, but if you become the person who's worth getting them, eventually you get it. That 150,000 will change your entire life. So don't quit. Apply. It could take you 3 years, 5 years, 7, 10. Don't quit. Eventually you get it. You should never give up, no matter how difficult it may seem. That's why you need a team. And you need a really good team, because you guys need to motivate each other when one is feeling like giving up, because on your own you will give up. You might feel like giving up and feel like, okay, nope, I can't do this anymore. But if you have a team, you guys will assist each other, and yeah, you'll get it. I don't know, do you guys think we should continue waiting for Tanata or should close this off? I know you'd have loved to close this. I wonder what happened. But he had told me that he was having an electrical fault at his place, which is so unfortunate, as I